I have dedicated my professional career to the study and control of arthropods.
All right, this is a video response to JosephEricLopez's video. The world is not overpopulated, and the elite of the New World Order want to control and eliminate us. I'm not going to respond to this whole thing here. What I would like to do is to address a couple of points in it, specifically a couple of points about the quotes, because I know that this is not you didn't originally source this material. And you explain that in another video in a series of comments to other people. So I'm not going to go into that because I don't want this to get derailed on that topic. Okay, I'm going to address this as your material here. I'll just mention your source. So I'm going to just pick the couple points I want to talk about here. You mentioned a quote from Jacques Cousteau, and the quote is, "In order to stabilize world population, we must eliminate 350,000 people per day." Okay? Now, if Jacques Cousteau said that, that's a horrible thing to say. Right? It is a horrible thing to say. However, this is the cool thing. I have demanding accountability. That's a source that I own. I have a hard copy somewhere buried in my books, and I found a full electronic copy online. I'll put a link up to it. In that book, there's not a single Jacques Cousteau quote in there. Okay, not one. He never once. It's not mentioned at all. And I gotta say, to say that about somebody who's passed away and can't defend themselves, to say that they said something as horrible as that, is pretty bad. And I'm going to tell you something. I actually found the source of that quote. I found out Jacques Cousteau never said that, by the way. I'll tell you that much. I'm not going to tell you the original source because I want you to look it up yourself. I want you to find out yourself. And if your goal is truth, and I'm not convinced of that, but if your goal is indeed truth, you will recount that statement. You'll post a retraction, maybe make a video apologizing for slandering people's names. If you care about truth, that's what you will do. Because the fact is, Jacques Cousteau never said that. It's not in that document, and he never said it otherwise. So he did say something that was twisted from. Now, mind you, I'll tell you that much as well. Nothing about genocide, nothing about eliminating people. But again, I'll let you find the original source. The next quote is a quote from Ted Turner. "A total world population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels, would be ideal." Now that quote, I tracked down other anti-New World Order web pages and such that use that quote. And the closest I could find to a reference is Audubon 1992, or more often Audubon magazine 1996. I've searched through both years in our library's holdings, and I can't find it. I can't find it in either of those. So if you actually have the genuine citation, I know you don't. But if you actually have the original citation, please post it, PM it, post it as a video, as a text comment to this, whatever. Because I'd like to know where he actually said that. Okay, quote from the Convention on Biological Diversity. You quote section 9.2-3-2 claims that we must reduce the Earth's human population to 1 billion or reduce the standard of living to an agrarian peasant status. Okay? All right. Again, that's another document that you can access full text online. I have that. I have it online. And I'm not going to read it off directly. Section 9 in that document is about other countries agreed to take responsibility for the exports and imports of other nations with the idea of protecting biological diversity. In essence, it means we'll refuse to accept, Siberian tiger skins in our nation, even though they don't live in our country. We will not allow those importation, even if it's legal from where it's from. It's kind of the gist of it. It has nothing to do with population. It has to do with protecting biodiversity. Again, I'd love to know where that source came from. I searched online for it, and every other source traces back to your original source, the Hovind quote. Everybody traces it back to their and or similar websites, some with slightly different wording. I'd love to find out where the original claim comes from. I know you don't know it, but if you do, please post. All right, Peter Singer is the next one. Christianity is our foe. If animal rights is to succeed, we must destroy the Judeo-Christian religious tradition. Now, the citation is AP 1999. I'm assuming that's the Associated Press. Again, nobody else appears to have a record of that outside of Christian fundamentalist websites, anti-New World Order websites. In other words, sources that use your same source or similar related sources and repeat the same claims. I can't find an original source as to where Peter Singer ever said that. And I've got lots and lots of Peter Singer stuffs online. My guess would be that if he said something like that, that somebody else would have reported it. I mean, it's not just when you talk about when somebody talks about genocide, even for environmental reasons, it's not just Christians that are upset by it. Okay, so when it's only Christian websites that get upset, it makes me suspicious about the claim, because you would think there'd be other non-Christian humanist organizations that would be upset by it too. There's a lot of people in the world that think our population should expand. Not for environmentalist reasons, but for humanist reasons. So one of those groups, I think, would have had a problem with the quote if it were real. The next one is a quote from Prince Philip. Okay, the quote is, "If I could be reincarnated, I would wish to return to Earth as a killer virus to lower human population levels." Again, this is another quote that has no other verification. There's no other, I can't find a single source for this quote outside of, again, your source and other ones that copy from the same thing. So again, I'd love to see an actual thing for it. The ones when I mentioned about that not having a source for them, I'd like you to provide a source would be great. The ones I'm specifically asking that you explain are the Cousteau quote, the Turner quote, because it doesn't seem to exist in the journals that I can, or in the where it's cited from, or at least not your citation, but other citations. And then the Clinton, or not Clinton, the Clinton supposedly signed it, but the Convention on Biological Diversity. Those are the ones I want you to address. Now I'm going to sort of sum this up. What I'm talking about here is if your goal is truth, okay. I believe it was Jesus that said the truth will set you free. If truth is your goal, okay, you will stop using these quotes, the ones that I've shown to be not in the sources, or correct the sources and find the actual citations. I have a fear, and I don't want to misjudge you, but I have a fear that you don't want to do that. I have a fear that these quotes, when you put them up on that slide in front of that church audience, and the audience gasps and, cover their children's ears, that's the response that you're trying to elicit, and that's the response these quotes get. Just like Hovind uses, just like lots and lots of other creationists use. They use these claims, and then when somebody actually says, "No, look, here's the book you're citing. It's not in here. Look, here it is." They go, "Oh, huh. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that." And then the next time you see them speak, they use the same quote again. They use the same information again, because truth is not their goal. Okay, whatever their goal is, whether it be, I don't know, conversion of souls is the claimed goal. I'm not entirely sure what the actual goal is, and I hope that you're not trying to aspire to be one of those people. You want to be a creation science evangelist, and if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But I hope you try to be a cut above those. I hope that you will be one that will accept information as it comes in and alter it, and not just keep reciting the same thing because it's snappy, because it works. Because every single time you walk into a new crowd of people and you use those statements, you get a bunch of people walking out going, "Gosh darn, that must be true." Even though you yourself know it's false. And I don't think you want to be that person. That's a slippery slope, and I think you'll find, a lot of them that have taken it, including your main source. Okay, so just take it to heart. Okay, please, and I'll talk to you later.